Hello my crafty friends, it's Marie from Marie's Vermont Creations, and today I am taking part in a Snowflake hop from the Handmade Happiness group, and I have a piece of navy blue basil cardstock that I have treated with my anti-static powder tool, and now I'm going to take snowflakes from the Simon Says Stamp Christmas Cheer set because it has a bunch of little snowflakes. And I'm not going to show you all of my stamping today, but I'm going to go through the first round of embossing because we're going to use multiple embossing powders for this project today. So I am starting out with a few of the snowflakes where I want them. Turns out that little one doesn't want to stick to my misty door. I need to clean this stamp set a little bit better, so that one wasn't quite adhering, so I just left it off. And I'm going to stamp this with my Versamark ink a couple of times, and then I'm going to coat it with my Brutus Monroe Sterling embossing powder, and I will heat set all of these off camera just to save some time. But I try to remember in between each embossing to reapply the anti-static powder tool, because when I do the white embossing powder I forgot, and I did have to pick quite a bit of the little stray flecks off. So I do let this cool for a little bit, doesn't take very long, put it back in my Misty, and I put down my next round of snowflakes that I want to use. And then I'm going to be using, it's a limited edition embossing powder from Brutus Monroe. It's absolutely beautiful. I believe it's called Glass Slippers. So that's what I'm going to use this time. So it's just kind of a sparkly, clear embossing powder. I just absolutely love it. So after I move my cardstock over, because I figured I wanted them off the panel a little bit because it gives that illusion of something else going on outside of your card. So I'm going to again ink these up with my Versamark ink after I put down my anti-static powder tool. And I know it's a lot on there, but don't worry, after you're done you can just take a rag and wipe all of that off. If you're finding because it's dark cardstock it doesn't quite come off, you can take a baby wipe that's fairly dry but just a little bit of moisture on it and swipe it over it, and that will get rid of any of that white residue. So here's this very pretty embossing powder, and it looks like it's white now, but when I heat set it, it just kind of fades into the background, like you can see in that upper left hand corner. Just gives you some sparkle and shine. So then I'm going to repeat the process, but this time I'm going to use my alabaster embossing powder from Brutus Monroe. And once I get all of these done, I went through all of the embossing powders again using a smaller set of the snowflakes from this same stamp set. Everything I used was from this stamp set. And I went through every color again. So I did the two smaller images, I stamped them 3 times randomly around the card, and I heat set the sterling embossing powder, the glass slipper, and the white embossing powder. I just saved you from watching me doing it all over again because it was a bit repetitive, just smaller stamps. And I did find, because they were smaller stamps, I just used my clear block to stamp those down, and I got a good impression with all of them. So once I got them all done, I was like, it's a little plain, needed a little something else. So I channeled my inner Amy R, and I'm going to add some sparkle. So this is some, oh shoot, what is that called? Oh, that's awful. It's a little powder. It's a shimmer spray that I made myself into some water, shaking it up really good, and I misted it. And the unfortunate thing is you can't really see the shine in this video of how beautiful that is. So then I took some acrylic paint and I am just watering that down, and I'm going to splatter that all over this card panel, and I'll let all of that dry. Perfect pearls. It's perfect pearl powder that I've mixed to make my own shimmer spray. I tell you, this week has been crazy, so words are hard. So once I get all that done, I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to take a piece of vellum. I've stamped it off. I thought I was stamping it on camera, so I took that part out because you couldn't see what I was doing anyway. So I just cut a strip of vellum and I stamped the phrase "Sending Christmas Cheer," and I have coated that with my sterling embossing powder and heat set that. And I'm going to wrap this around the front of my panel so that it's, all the adhesive will go on the back. If I was to do this over again, I would run it through my Xyron sticker maker and make it one large sticker, because the front of it is lifted up, and I could try to shimmy some wet glue under there where the words are, but it seems like too much of a hassle. But if I were to do it again, I would recommend putting adhesive all over the whole back of it. Just make it one big sticker, and then you won't have to worry about that. Then I coated the back of this with foam tape and adhere it to my card panel. So I hope that you enjoyed this project. The next person will be linked below in the hop. If you have any questions, shoot me a message. As always, I hope that you have a great day.